Hello, I'm JT. Welcome to Trainthem. Our Wake Up program, I call that Wake Up to Life Today. That program has been designed pretty much for everybody that lives and breathes. You know, every now and again people sort of get depressed or people go into a sense of insecurity or lack of self-confidence. The Wake Up program is basically to get people back to life where we belong to be. Stop being dead but not buried. Come back to life. Take the program, apply the principles, and you can start living. Think about this. Today is a new beginning. Yesterday was simply a lesson. Let's open up the books on page number 3. Which is the actual table of contents. Okay, now the program that we're about to start on is called Wake Up. Why is it called Wake Up? Well, pretty much because most people go through life at some point. We all need to have something to prop us back up, right? Okay, we get down there and we get disillusioned by life in general. We can't get a job. We've got all the negative elements that go with it. So basically, what I'm going to try and get you to do is to wake up to life today. So let's have a look at the table of contents. The first thing we're going to talk about is why you're here. Now, you're here because obviously there's something about your life that you want to change, correct? All right? Now, whether you want to change it because it's your job, whether you want to change your personal relationship, whether you want to change a different career path, whether you want to change your attitude towards sports or anything else, you're here because of change. All right? We're then going to talk about attitude, which is a very important aspect of what we do. Because if our attitude is wrong, everything that's going to happen to us is also going to go wrong, isn't it? You know, you'll find that in this day and age, I have so many people that come to me and say, yeah, but you know, I've got a university degree, I'm qualified to do this, I'm qualified in marketing. But the fact is, they've never actually worked in it, so they've got no experience. And they can't get the experience because they believe that a simple degree is going to get them that job, without personality. Now, let me assure you of one thing. If you're in the sales business, if the customer doesn't like you, they will not buy from you. If you're in the business of getting a job, if your boss doesn't like you or doesn't like your attitude, no matter how many qualifications you have, they will not hire you because ultimately they've got to work with you. So attitude is going to be a very important aspect of what we're going to do, okay? We're going to talk about eliminating negative elements. We all have negative elements in life, you know, whether it's your upbringing, whether it's you know, your physical, your health, the way you look, the way that you appear to be. There's always going to be negative elements in life which we need to overcome and we need to address. All right, we're going to talk about also increasing your confidence levels. Now, confidence will only come through true knowledge. You know, it's no good saying to people, you need to appear confident. You're only going to appear confident for a fragment of time, aren't you? But if that confidence isn't there, sooner or later it's going to show up. People-to-people skill, about enhancing your people-to-people skills. You know, anyone that is a good communicator will survive, more than survive in society, won't they? Do you know anyone that can't communicate? You know, I'm sure we all do. We all know people who are shy, people who are embarrassed to talk, or people who are hesitant about talking about anything, right? So all of a sudden, you know, their confidence levels drop. So we're going to talk about bringing them back to normal standards, all right? Speaking with confidence. Now, wouldn't it be great to be able to communicate with everyone on any subject, whether you know anything about it or not? Well, we're going to talk about that today and how you can actually make that happen, all right? Controlling the conversation. Now, controlling the conversation is not necessarily about you doing all the talking. Controlling the conversation is about leading people to make them want to talk about their own interests or talk about themselves. Every time that you speak about yourself, most people, what do is they shut out. They don't want to hear it. What they want is an opportunity to talk about themselves, and we're going to show you how to give them that opportunity. Influencing others, hopefully in a positive manner, because don't forget, you're going to have a lot of control over this. So if you're going to influence other people, let's make it beneficial to them. And if you make it beneficial to others, you'll find that you'll gain more friends, more respect within the community, right? More job opportunities. And we come to dealing with obstacles. Once again, obstacles are in our path. Obstacles are in our day-to-day life, you know. And one of the greatest obstacles that I've encountered around people is fear. You know, people are scared to do something because they haven't done it before. Fear of, you know, you get someone who's been unemployed for a couple of years. What's their greatest fear? Not getting a job anymore. The greatest fear is actually going back into the workforce because they've been out of it for so long. All right? We're going to talk about how you need to select and secure the career that you actually want. Now, you can go to university for the next 35 years. But was that the career you wanted? You know how many people go to university because their families of forcing them to take a particular path, right? You know, a lot of people are in business, right? The guy owns a restaurant, wants his son to be a restaurateur, but the son wants to be a doctor, right? So securing the career that you actually want based on what you feel that you want to do and not what other people are going to tell you to do. Eliminating your fears once again, and how do we overcome those? And of course, changing your life. You know, every one of us, including myself in this room, is open or should be open to change. You know, we go through life, no matter how great our life is, at some level, it's going to become monotonous, isn't it? Because we're doing it all, we've done it all, we've done it for so many years. I know people that have been in the same job for over 30 years. And all of a sudden, at the age of 50, they say, hey, you know what? I want a change of career. And then fear sets in. Oh, am I too old? All right? So changing your life, and how do we do that? We're going to run you through a daily positive checklist so that every morning you go through your checklist. You do a self-analysis of yourself. It's going to take you 1 minute. All right? And you've done that. At the end of the day, you go back to your checklist and score yourself. You know, how did I score today? Geez, you know, my determination was a little bit down. Wow, you know, I let other people influence me in a bad manner. Okay, so I've got to readdress that. So it's constant. You know, what we are is, we're like sports people, okay? If you were to run a 50-kilometre marathon and you just won that marathon, fantastic, isn't it? You've got your trophy, you've got whatever you wanted to do, you achieved what you wanted to achieve. Now, you want to run that same marathon next year, 12 months down the track. What are you going to do for the next 12 months? Are you going to sit on a couch, watch TV and drink beer and eat potato chips? You're not, because if you did that, I'll guarantee you, next year when you go to run that marathon, what's going to happen? You're not going to win. You're probably not even going to finish it. So unless you're constantly training, you can't be that winner. And life is exactly the same way. If we are not constantly training, if we are not constantly being aware of ourselves, then we can't be winners. And then we're going to talk about how you finish off this program and the things that you need to do once you've completed this program in order to begin those changes in life. Let's move on to page number 4. And we call that segment, Why Are You Here? All right, let's start off with, all good things come to those who wait. Who said that? Anybody have any idea? Have we ever heard that statement made before? Maybe your own parents say to you, well, you know, be patient. All good things come to those who wait. Let me ask you a question. Can you win the lottery if you don't go out there and buy a ticket? Can you win lotto if you don't go out and buy a ticket? If you're waiting, what is happening when you wait? Nothing. Nothing happens because nothing changes. So all the people that say to you, right, all good things come to those who wait, are the people who are still waiting for great things to happen to them. And I assure you, it won't happen. All right? Okay, the Lord will provide. Do we have anybody here that's ever heard that? The Lord will provide. Okay? So this guy is out there and he's on a farm by himself, right? Him and his family, they're all on this farm, and all of a sudden they're subjected to floods. And as the water rises, they try and find the highest point. The highest point happens to be at the peak of the roof of their house. And he's there, and he's got all his family on their knees. They're praying, Lord, please help me. Save me from death. Save me from drowning. And they're all believing it. All of a sudden, this guy comes out in a rowboat and says, hey, buddy, you guys want to jump on the boat so I can take you to dry land? The guy says, no, we're waiting for the Lord. A few minutes later, firemen come down in another boat with ladders and ropes and says, hey, buddy, do you guys want to jump on? We're going to save you. We'll take you to dry land. The guy says, no, I'm waiting for the Lord. A helicopter comes down and a rope drops down. Says, guys, get on the ladder. We're going to take you to dry land. He says, no, I'm waiting for the Lord. Eventually, what's going to happen? The waters are overrun the house. They drown, right? So they go up to the doors of heaven, and there's the Lord waiting for them. And the Lord says, welcome to the doors of heaven. The guy says, but Lord, you know, you didn't help me. I prayed for you to help me. I've always been a good Christian. I've gone to church. I've done the right thing by mankind. You didn't help me. And the Lord says, how many times did you want me to help you? I sent you a rowboat, you refused it. I sent you the fireman, you rejected it. I sent you a helicopter, you knocked it back. I provided all those things for you, but you didn't take the opportunity. So what the Lord will do, He will provide us with opportunities. But it's up to us what we do with those opportunities. No one is going to come out to you and give you anything on a silver platter. Do we agree? All right. You know, it wasn't meant to be. Come on, we've all said that at some point in our lives, I'm sure. We've all heard it. It wasn't meant to be. So, who says that? What happens is people go into a venture, or people go into a relationship, or people go into a situation only half-hearted. Right? They're not really enthusiastic about it. They don't really want it to happen, but they're going into it anyway. The guy says, yeah, look, I'm in a relationship with so-and-so, and yeah, it's fantastic. And then all of a sudden, the whole thing turns sour and says, well, you know what? It wasn't meant to be. The only people that say it wasn't meant to be are the people who have failed. They failed because they weren't aware of it. They failed because they didn't want it to happen. They didn't want to put in the effort to happen. It's like, getting a job. Geez, I'm really waiting for that person that I went to an interview to call me. Based on what? You walk away from there and the guy says, yeah, we'll call you. Does that mean he's actually going to call you? No. It wasn't meant to be. So you know what? Here I go. I failed again. So all of a sudden, it's easy to say, well, it wasn't meant to be. I'm going to go out and try something else. And every time that we go back and try something else because we've gone into something without realizing or making the decision that that's what we wanted, life is like a turntable. You've got to come back to the center and then you've got to start again. So no matter how far you go on this particular road, you can't jump from here to here. You want to go there, you've got to come back down and up you go again. So it wasn't meant to be, doesn't exist in my eyes. It's only what you make it happen. So realistically, why are we here? We're here because we do want to change parts of our life, aren't we? Right? There are parts that we want to change, whether it's the fact that we want to be better communicators, whether you want to be, more successful within yourself. And let's get this right. Success is not measured by money. There are millions of missionaries out there in third world countries that are doing everything they possibly can for mankind, and they're not making any money, but they are successful because they've achieved and realized the dream that they wanted to realize. Okay? You're here today for a reason. And if you benefit from this program, which you will, and if you follow the principles, as of tonight, your life can begin to change. You can change your life. I can't change it for you, but you can.